But my first interaction ever with Eric Bischoff, we were making a deal. He had some situations we had between the two companies about bringing some of his guys in. And he kind of owed us a favor, so to speak. Let's call it that.
It was in 1994, correct?
That when worlds collide.
Yep.
And it was, I wanted him to give us Stunning Steve Austin, I believe it's called.
Yep.
And Brian Pillman. Well, it turns out we ended up getting Brian Pillman on our own, but nonetheless, he said to me, I'll tell you what. Now imagine, I've never met the man. I've never spoken to the man. My first meeting as a business owner, talking to another business owner, our first ever interaction. I'm holding the phone. He said, but let me tell you this. If you ever want to run a show opposite Jim Cornette, do it across the street and my entire roster is yours to pick from. I said, I'm sorry, did that man just hear that? Did I just hear that right? For all he knew, Jim Cornette and I could have been related. We could have been best friends. He had no, so to say something like that, it was like, wow, talk about showing your ass. I mean, I would never have given a competitor that kind of opening or that kind of information in terms of whatever the case may be that he could use later on, put in his pocket. So that stunned me that he said that to me. We continued on from there and ended up, we got Bobby and Arn, which was, by the way, not exactly a letdown. I mean, that was, it was pretty much a nice coup to have show up at the ECW arena for two shows, Bobby and Arn. Two of the greatest workers of all time, my God. And when Arn was there, he was came in like a uncle almost.
Yeah.
Wanted me to sit down. Come on, sit down. So he goes, you got something here. I said, what? He said, this building, this ECW arena, where there's 1,500 people, we're wrestling in front of 10,000, whatever. You've got something here. You caught something by the tail. I don't know how you did it or what it is, but don't let it go. You've got something here that everybody wishes they could have. You've got an audience participation. Wrestling Federation, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. He goes, whatever you do, don't screw this up.
That means a lot coming from Arn Anderson, does it not?
Are you kidding me? Well, it means a lot coming from Billy Anderson, over Arn. Yeah, of course it means a lot. Yeah, it meant everything. Absolutely. I was taken aback by that, but yeah, he was. He said that, and at the time, as I said, they were slowly but surely, they were plucking our guys and plucking our angles. I mean, as we talked last show about Kurt Angle, did we not?
Yeah.
And then he was disgusted at what he saw at the ECW show and stormed out. Guys were apologizing, and 2 months later, he's either part of or watching the exact same angle happen to Undertaker in WWF.
I've always found it interesting that ECW portrayed WCW as the ultra heel, and that ECW and WCW were always head to head, but they did a lot more. And as you just referenced, there was a lot more cooperation between the two companies and was really led on.
You say that, but think about this. When we first started to break the unwritten rules of wrestling, which was our forte, you had Shane Douglas coming out and saying, Hulk Hogan sticking a needle in his ass. Whoever said something like that? Are you kidding me? This is the goddamn champion. Then he would go on to Ric Flair. So it was, it was real simple. You shoot for the big guys. Maybe they'll hear you eventually and they'll go, who are these pain in the asses in film are talking about us? We're starting to hear things. And that's how you get on the map. And that's what we did. We knew we couldn't carry their jocks in terms of production and quality and wrestlers, anything, money, certainly. So we just kept shooting at them until one day they'd hear us. And then they went and copied the same thing by having the guys from the WWF attack WCW with their tank, which was about as absurd an angle as I've ever seen in my life. If that was their idea of trying to emulate us, please don't emulate us anymore. Please don't do that, because that was embarrassing. We were equal in both of that. But yet, Cactus Jack McFoley's the one who really brought the WCW angle into it, because there was a whole legitimate thing going on with him when he came over from there and spit on their tag team belt. He took the WCW belt and spit on it. He hadn't even gone back to the hotel yet, let alone have it air on TV, when Kevin Sullivan was on the phone going, "What a fucking crew," nuts on him, because they were tag team partners with the belts. And he really brought that in. So every week he came out with a T-shirt. Help me, Uncle Eric. Save me, Uncle Eric. I'm here to do a show for guys that like movies, that like he would just keep taking takeoffs and all the TBS stuff. But I don't know if he's doing that to be able to get back in there and smooth things over, or just being damn right hilarious, which he was, of course. And then he went to WWF anyway. He left. He didn't go back to WCW. But yeah, I think it's pretty evenly spread out. I do not think I never considered them more of an enemy than the WWF. I really consider WWF more of an enemy, but at the time they were number one. So whoever's number one, that's who you're gonna shoot at. Wherever falls down lower, okay, that can land on WCW. That's fine too. But we weren't going at, we never did like a Shockmaster thing, and I made fun of that. We didn't go after their their weaknesses and their frailties.
Did you think Eric was watching ECW at the time, or do you think Kevin Sullivan was the one that was really paying attention to what you guys are doing?
You should ask Eric. Uncle Eric will tell you that he never saw ECW in his entire life, not even once. And then he'll quote you 30 angles that we did. If you think Eric Bischoff, and all due respect, 83 weeks is not tuna fish. Granted, I could have done 84, but 83 weeks is not tuna fish. If you think that wasn't a Herculean task he accomplished, you're wrong. It was unbelievable what he accomplished. Whoever thought it was even humanly possible? You can't tell me that he had Kevin Sullivan's word for it. And then Kevin, love always, him saying, bring in the little guys, bring in the luchadors, he didn't say, oh, okay. He was watching the reaction they were getting. He was watching Guerrero and Dean Malenko and the reaction they were getting from the hardcore, the people who he thought fans were like not his kind of fans. The fans wanted blood and guts and nothing else, which is such a fallacy.
Yeah.
And everybody knows it. Cornette knows it. He knows it. Vince knew it. That was a fallacy. Our fans were only blood and guts fans. They weren't. They're fans of wrestling, pro wrestling. We just give them a better version of it.